Thank you very much, fellow Kenyans. Why we are here as Kenya Border to Itakayo, because I'm a concerned citizen and I'm a convener of Concerned Citizens Movement. We are here because Kenya Border to Itakayo, that has all conveners in civil society, acknowledges that Kenya is at a constitutional, political, social, demographic, which is represented by Gen Z, crisis. And this crisis is because there's a lot of failed institutions because of somebody in Statehouse. These institutions have failed because there's a systemic failure from the head in Statehouse. And there is no day, even if you talk about the issue of human rights or any right, no one will get their right until there's the right person in Statehouse. And that's why we're here. And we ask ourselves, because there's this failure, and my colleague Cyprian has said Parliament is unable, we are trying to answer a question. What do you do to state officers, especially the President and Deputy President, that continuously breaks the law and Parliament is unable to impeach him? Then the people has to come in. The people's power. I have to say that God is the cause of causes. God is the cause of causes that causes us Kenyans. Then Kenyans causes their sovereignty. Their sovereignty causes the constitution. Then the constitution creates the offices. So the offices are servants of the constitution, which is created by the sovereign power of the people. And therefore, the ultimate power is God, not William Ruto and Gachagua. So this should remind the president that the president and his deputy, that they are agents of the people. So if you go to the US to make any declaration, you should be an agent of the people. But also want to remind Statehouse, which is the president, deputy president, that even the US do not have interest in them as individuals. The US have interest in Kenya. So they should make the policies that are good for prosperity and posterity of Kenya. And I want to say that our constitution is not helpless to address this matter, because if it was helpless, then it is not a constitution. And therefore, no one should ever think or doubt that we can remove the president from office. When you go to pray for rain, carry an umbrella. So I'm asking Kenyans, the referendum committees, carry the umbrella because it's gonna rain. And the rainfall is that those people leave office before Christmas. We are not eating Christmas with these people in office. We are not going to celebrate Independence Day with people who have taken away our independence in office. In fact, I'm going to tell you, if you have any doubting Thomases, will confirm, because Jesus reads will show you that these people must leave office. Because this war we are fighting as KBT is not our war. We are fighting for the people of Kenya. This is a people's war. And people's war is God's war. In Numbers, God has never lost a battle. And this battle we are taking to High Court is not going to be lost, it's going to be won. For me, I'm already calling people, telling them to set up referendum committees, because we are ready. And we are not here because we are just here to give press statement. It is going to rain, and even if the media is here, it's going to rain. And this rainfall is coming by October. And I want to tell people that even if you go left and right in this country, people have agreed, 81% of Kenyans have agreed with the Gen Z that Ruto must go. So the president and deputy president, the only thing to convince us that we are wrong, let them go back to those people to seek fresh mandate. If those people say yes, then they'll continue being in Statehouse. Because they have lost legitimacy, they have forgotten whom they are supposed to serve, and I'm happy the president's friends and enemies in equal are advising him to leave. So the only person not taking advice is him. And this is another advice which will come from the High Court, and we hope we'll take it. Kenyans, let's come together, because this is your country. We cannot be helpless because we are serving a living God. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think to just...
More than 31 instances
The violations are across all the first 14 chapters of our Constitution. We have listed these violations in great detail in the petition. Let us emphasize that they have violated each of the 14 chapters of the Constitution, from the sovereignty of the people all the way to public finance in chapter 12, all the way to security, public service. They have actually, within 23 months, succeeded to violate the Constitution so abundantly that it is no longer acceptable that they can be allowed to continue with these flagrant violations of the Constitution. It's like they have suspended our Constitution. The second objective of the petition is to say that this is contrary to the oath of office and oath of execution that they swore at Kasarani before the Chief Justice, the people of Kenya, and the community of nations. Number 3, that if they are found guilty of violating the Constitution, which they are, I'm sorry to say so, but the judges will be considering that in great detail. If they are found guilty of violating the Constitution, they must be removed from office and the term of their presidency terminated by the people of Kenya by exercising their Article 1 power directly, because Parliament cannot be expected to impeach them, because Parliament has ceased to be a watchdog. It has become a lapdog of the executive, and every Kenyan knows that. So we don't expect that Parliament can impeach these two. The people are the ones who hire, as Professor Ogola likes to say, and they can fire. And they shall fire these ones before the end of the 5 years. Kenya Bora Tutakayo has therefore asked the Chief Justice to empanel a 5-judge bench to determine these matters and grant the people of Kenya a referendum to impeach the 2 state officers who have violated the Constitution. This matter is of high priority because KBT seeks to give the country a way forward for removing the 2 from office through constitutional roadmaps. We want every Kenyan, wherever they are, to know that no one is above the law and above the Constitution. Everyone shall be held accountable. We cannot give you the highest offices of trust only for you to use the offices and privilege to sabotage our economy, violate the Constitution, and treat us like tenants in your estate. This is a message to the President and the Deputy. They shall not sabotage our economy, violate the Constitution, and treat us like tenants, as the President Ruto is treating us currently, like we are tenants in his estate. We are not. He is our servant and must operate within the confines of our Constitution. We want all to know that Article 3 of the Constitution vests an obligation on all of us to defend the Constitution. If Parliament has abdicated its representative and oversight roles and has chosen to cheer the President and his deputy on as they violate the Constitution and run our country down, we shall invoke our sovereign power in Article 1 to recall and impeach rogue public officials directly through a referendum. The more than 75 Kenyans who the government murdered in cold blood last year, and the more than 64 this year, will have to be accounted for. They didn't die in vain. Justice will be done for them. The hundreds who were injured last year and this year will receive justice. Those who were abducted, tortured, and humiliated shall too receive justice. Today, Kenya Bora Tutakayo Citizens Union calls upon all Kenyans in the country and in the diaspora to undertake a patriotic duty of liberating Kenya from all the forces of deprivation, oppression, humiliation, and exploitation. This is the third liberation of our country that the millennials and Gen Zs have summoned us to undertake. As Dedan Kimathi urged us, we resolve that we had rather live standing and fighting rather than live on our knees. We had rather die standing rather than live on our knees. This petition that we filed yesterday is to establish that the people power is our power. We are a democracy. Our democracy, governance, economy, stability, and sovereignty will only be secured the day we embrace the advice that Chief Justice Maraga, retired, gave us a few years ago when he said the following: the greatness of any nation lies in its fidelity to the Constitution and adherence to the rule of law, and above all, respect to God. This was on September 1st, 2017. As we begin the hearing of our petition, we call on all Kenyans to form their referendum committees in anticipation for the referendum. The referendum committees in all the 47 counties and the 290 constituencies should begin to carry out civic education, show the people that recalling the president and his deputies a constitutional power the citizens have, and that the president, his deputy, and any state or public official cannot auction, loot our country, defy the Constitution, and violate our rights and get away with it. May God bless you, and may God bless Kenya. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Cyprian. And before I give a chance maybe to ventilate, I do not know whether there is anybody that has a question, so that then within the context of the question, I'll also invite a few of my colleagues to, as they answer the question, maybe they can field any other comments that they have.
Tunashukuru sana.